National Fair Housing Month. National Fair Housing Month in April increases efforts to end housing discrimination and raises awareness of fair housing rights. The month also remembers the assassination of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968 and his contributions to the civil rights movement. The Fair Housing Act also celebrates its anniversary in April. We produce 5 amazing videos per month on various topics, so click on the like button and share to see future videos. Like, comment, share, subscribe. In 2018, the Fair Housing Act celebrated its 50th anniversary. Designed to protect Americans from discrimination in the sale, rental, and financing of housing based on color, race, national origin, and religion, the Act later extended to sex, disability, and family status. What housing is covered? The Fair Housing Act covers most housing. In some circumstances, the Act exempts owner-occupied buildings with no more than 4 units, single-family housing sold or rented without the use of a broker, and housing operated by organizations and private clubs that limit occupancy to members. What is prohibited? In the sale and rental of housing, no one may take any of the following actions based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, or handicap. Refusal to rent or sell housing, refusal to negotiate for housing, make housing unavailable. Deny a dwelling, set different terms, conditions, or privileges for sale or rental of a dwelling. Provide different housing services or facilities. Falsely denying that housing is available for inspection, sale, or rental. For profit, persuade owners to sell or rent, blockbusting, or deny anyone access to or membership in a facility or service such as multiple listing service related to the sale or rental of housing. In mortgage lending, no one may take any of the following actions based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status or handicap or disability. Refuse to make a mortgage loan. Refuse to provide information regarding loans. Impose different terms or conditions on a loan, such as different interest rate, points, or fees. Discriminate in appraising property. Refuse to purchase a loan, or set different terms or conditions for purchasing a loan. In addition, it is illegal for anyone to threaten, coerce, intimidate, or interfere with anyone exercising a fair housing right or assisting others who exercise that right. Advertise or make any statement that indicates a limitation or preference based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, or handicap. This prohibition against discrimination advertising applies to single-family and owner-occupied housing that is otherwise exempt from the Fair Housing Act. Additional protection if you have a disability. If you or someone associated with you have a physical or mental disability, including hearing, mobility, and visual impairments, chronic alcoholism, chronic mental illness, AIDS, AIDS-related complex, and mental retardation that substantially limits one or more major life activities. Additional protection if you have a disability. If you or someone associated with you have a record of such disability or are regarded as having such a disability. Your landlord may not Refuse to let you make reasonable modifications to your dwelling or common use areas at your expense if necessary for the disabled person to use the housing. Where reasonable, the landlord may permit changes only if you agree to restore the property to its original condition when you move. Refuse to make reasonable accommodations in rules, policies, practices, or services if necessary for the disabled person to use the housing. Example: a building with a no pets policy must allow a visually impaired tenant to keep a guide dog. Example: an apartment complex that offers tenants ample unassigned parking must, on a request from a mobility impaired tenant, for a reserved space near his or her apartment, if necessary, to assure that he or she can have access to his or her apartment. Requirements for new buildings. In buildings that are ready for first occupancy after March 13, 1991, and have an elevator and 4 or more units, public and common areas must be accessible to persons with disabilities. Doors and hallways must be wide enough for wheelchairs. All units must have an accessible route into and through the unit. Accessible light switches, electrical outlets, thermostats, and other environmental controls. Reinforced bathroom walls to allow later installation of grab bars, and kitchens and bathrooms that can be used by people in wheelchairs. Housing opportunities for families unless a building or community qualifies as housing for older persons. It may not discriminate based on familial status. That is, it may not discriminate against families in which one or more children under the age of 18 live with a parent, a person who has legal custody of the child or children, the designee of the parent or legal custodian with the parent or custodian's written permission.